Good afternoon. Keep It 100 podcast with your host, J.R. Robertson. Keeping it cool right now. It's very, very hot in Cali. Just waiting for our guest today. We have Kenny Williams, a.k.a. Killa Trax, DJ. Also co-founder, one of the co-founders of Project Sign, which helps artists get seen, which is really cool because it's kind of what we do also at the same time. But we two different platforms coming together where we're actually helping a lot of people get found music-wise, DJs, business, and things of that nature. So soon as Kenny's up here, I will we'll start the show. We're just waiting for him to come on right now. Takes a couple minutes, getting everything done. Hopefully your week is going pretty good right now. You're hanging with JR. I'm looking forward to a few things we got going right now. We've just been adding so many different extra things to our podcast. Everything from different backdrops to locations. Now we're about to go on location, which is going to be really cool. So I'm looking forward to that. All right. That's the guy. All right. Just still waiting for our boy to join. I had to go out and go back in. Okay. Just wait, give him a couple more minutes. All right. I think he'll get it. It takes a few minutes to get things rocking and rolling. Later on this week, we got some other things happening here. I'll be pretty busy booking. I finally had a chance to take a few days off, which I took 4 days to just sit back and chill and get some things organized for going on location. We've been very busy. We'll be celebrating our 4th month anniversary on the 9th of August, which will be really, really cool. We've broke all kind of records with the first couple of months. We were like over 20,000 viewers in the first two months. Then we did 50,000. Then we did 100,000 viewers. We've been very, very, very blessed, and also taking care of our people, helping some people get seen. So give a few more minutes. We're just waiting for my man. Hopefully I don't have to go back out and come back in. We'll get him here sooner or later. Okay, so we're just getting it done right now. Waiting for my boy. So right now, as we speak, we're probably at about 120 podcast shows, less than 4 months. So we've been rocking and rolling, guys, getting it going. I got everything from singers, record label owners, singers, writers, songwriters, to producers, to dancers, to business owners, to actually I've had movie people, everybody from actresses, the actors, good friends. I'm not running out of friends yet. There we are. I see him. He just joined. Okay, let me get him in here. Okay, hold on. We're gonna get this going. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He should be coming in right now. We'll make it hot. Get it going. He should come right in a couple minutes. All right, let's see. He should be coming in. Give him a couple minutes. Takes a few minutes to get signed up in here. We're going to get it going. We're going to find out a lot out about my man Kenny, and also his other business partner, who they founded Project Sign, which is pretty interesting. I want to know a little bit more about it myself. So as soon as he comes up, we'll get him going. All right. Plus, we are going to be uploading this show. Let's see. We'll be uploading this show also to Facebook, YouTube, and a few others. Okay, we're still waiting for him to get in here. Okay, we should take just a little bit. Let's see. We'll give it just a few more minutes. Sometimes it takes a little bit more time. Let's try the other one. Give me 1 sec. Hold on 1 sec. Let's try this one. We're still waiting. Okay, should be coming up in just a couple minutes, guys. Give him a couple minutes. There he is. There he is. All right, we finally got it, man.
Computer retard.
Hey, let me tell you something. Hey, don't even sweat it, my man. Don't even sweat it. Let me tell you, I am from that age Whereas if it wasn't for other people in my life that know things about computers and phones,
then we
I don't
wouldn't
know
be
what
where
I
we're at. Amen to that, man.
I'm so bad.
Amen to
I'm so bad at it. I bought things twice. Hey, Kitty, do me a favor.
What's that?
For the audience that's going to be watching, because people will be coming back in. I went out a
Yep.
couple times and came back in. This is Keep It 100 Podcast with JR, your host. Also, my co-host is Terrell McBee. He'll be doing some other shows later on this week. But Kitty, do me a favor, because I'm going to ask you 3 questions, those magic questions. Tell me, state your name, where you come from, where you're born, family members, stuff like that, and then we'll get into the questions, okay?
Right on. So my real name, my government name is Ken Williams. I go by Killa Trax. My family, I'm originally from Massachusetts. I was born and raised in Boston. I moved out around the age of 19. I went to Fort Jackson, South Carolina, started a thing with the military. I did that for about 3.5, 4 years. Ended up in Texas, did a lot of parties in Texas, met a lot of people in Texas because Texas is huge. And then I ended up moving back to Massachusetts in about 2001. I've been here since. I tried to pursue my music as much as I could, and I think I did an all right job. I mean, I know a lot of people around here. Not to be that guy that brags about what he does, but my name is pretty well known in and through around New England for what I have done.
That's cool. You're not bragging, man. You know what? If you don't brag about yourself, you know, who else? You know, that you got to.
I don't want to sound like that guy that's like, oh, I did all this stuff and I'm great. Like, I'm just another DJ who started another business to help other DJs, and here I am, man. Like I'm as true as true can be. I don't sugarcoat things. I don't tell people, oh, your mix sounds great when it sounds like crap. I tell them constructive criticism, and how they take it is how they take it. If they want to take it personal,
okay, we got Gabriel.
It's well out of my control. I think we had that conversation the other night, man.
Hey, let me do this. Let's dive into some questions right now for you, man. Okay, so you talked about some of the older projects that you did and things of that nature. Before I ask you question 2, which is current projects, tell me a little bit about Project Sign, and also you're the one of the co-founders, and tell me about the other co-founder also, and tell me what you guys do, because we have a lot of people that are watching or that will be watching that are label owners. We'll have artists, DJs. We'll have songwriters, producers. We'll have it all. But I want to know what you guys do. So for all the people that are going to watch this later on, or that are watching it now also, tell me what is that all about and how that idea came up.
So me and my business partner, his name is Andy Coach. He's been a friend of mine for over 20 years. I went to my first rave party with him. We kind of lost contact for about 10 to 15 years. When I was doing my thing and he was doing his thing, and in about like late 2009, 2010, we got back in touch with each other. He was running some gigs out here in Worcester, and I was running gigs outside of Boston, and we connected again, and we started working with each other just music-wise at first, and we found that our music, what's the word I'm looking for? Our music knowledge, and not only knowledge, but like what I would play compared to what he would play. Like we would show up to a gig and we'd have our own slots to do. And half of my track selection was half of his track selection. So our interests were very similar in what we liked with music. So we started working a little bit closer together. His DJ name is Kid Optimus. My DJ name is Killa Trax. So we came up and we like to get cocked. So KOKT is what we started back in 2010. A couple of years had gone by. We had done numerous gigs in and around Boston and New England. We met numerous DJs from just doing that. And in doing all of that, we wanted to do something outside of the box that was not a normal thing that people would do with this type of music. And what we created and what we started was www.projectsign.com. And what our website is more based about is finding those DJs slash producers who don't really have a prominent name and give them something to shine about, you know, something to talk about. Like, hey, these guys on this website added me and want me to be a featured DJ on their website for a month. So we pick a DJ every month, that specific DJ, all their information, their biography, their links, their pictures, their whole entire music career story is posted up on the website for the month. And then the last Saturday of each month, those particular DJs and artists, because we also do art as well, but those particular artists and DJs have a 2 and 3 hour slot on our web show that we do every Saturday night from 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because I know you guys out in Cali.
Yeah.
But we're live every Saturday with brand new DJs. And like I said, the last Saturday of every month is our feature show, where we take the DJ that we chose for that month and they go on live. The DJ gets a 2 hour slot with an opening DJ, and the artist, physical artist, gets the whole 3 hours to come into the studio and do what they do, whether it's sculpting, painting, calligraphy, tattoos, anything. We've had numerous people come in and do various types of art, even some that we didn't even think were going to show up to play, you know, or do their thing,
cool.
man.
That is really cool.
And it's a great way to meet new people. Like I meet new people every week because someone else hears about us, and then they want to send a mix and be like, oh, hey, like I'd love to come and play your show. And we've met a ton of people just doing this and this alone, which is great. And like I said, it gives those people that don't really, like, you can have a name. Like, my name's been around for 20 years, but I don't think everybody knows me.
Gotcha.
So any other way, including this, to get my name out there is a plus. So we wanted to give those types of people, including myself and my partner, more places to go and get their name seen.
Wow.
So a lot of people in this area have been on our show. Right now we're focused and based in New England, so that's the majority of our people. But dude, there's talent everywhere in this world.
You got that right.
No matter where you go. We just wanted to shine a light on our area because over the years, I've met tons of people that do it, and I hear the same thing over and over and over again. Oh, well, I'm not on this flyer, or I'm not on that, on that party, and this and that. And it's like, well, hey, come play my show. You know, like, here's a spot for you. Like, you don't have to go run around and find things. Just message me.
Let me ask you a question. How is it that you guys can do a 2 hour slot like that? How'd you come up with that?
Honestly, I came up with that idea. Like, we were just going to do the featured show as like the DJ on the website itself. The web show came into play a little bit after, but the 2 hour time slot, if there's anybody watching that has been in the scene for a long time, they can remember that BBC in the UK used to do an essential mix with Pete Tong.
Yes,
and Pete Tong would pick like the top DJs of the world, and he would give them 2 hour spots to shine their stuff. So that's where that came from, man. The 2 hour slot is from Pete Tong and BBC Radio.
Oh, perfect.
Just giving people that spot, you know, like, as a DJ, an hour is great, but I usually don't get into the swing of things till like 15 minutes, half hour into my set. And then a half hour later, I'm off, you know, like, so we wanted to make sure that the people that are there to showcase their stuff had some time to showcase their stuff.
Right, right. I understand exactly what you're talking about, because when it comes to music, I'm a music fanatic, man. I was like in my bones, no matter what. And, you know, when you feel music versus that you hear music, there's a whole different sensation going on there, you know. As I was telling a good friend of mine, I was telling a friend of yours also, Shar D. She was on a show, which I heard, I got Shar 4. she was telling me, we were having this conversation about people that feel music, and I was telling her, I was like, there's a whole difference when you get goosebumps from music. That's a whole different person. A lot of people have never experienced that.
A quick story. My first rave I ever went to. Before I went to that rave, I was a person that didn't feel music. After that party, anything you put in front of me, like, it hits my soul, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. It hits me a different way.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
you have been blessed.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So let me ask this question. Being a DJ, at what age did you want to become a DJ?
Whew. You ready for this one?
I'll get you in a few.
I thought I wanted to do something with music back when I was probably like 10 or 11 years old. And I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I just knew that I liked music a real lot. Like, my dad would used to tell me, he's like, man, if you studied as hard as you listen to your music, you'd be a straight A student. And I'm probably sure tons of people have heard that. So when I got a little bit older, my mom had asked me one year, she says, oh, what do you want for Christmas? I was like, 2 turntables and a mixer. And I was like 12, 13 years old. And she's like, you know what? That's a fad. That's a phase. I'll let you just roll right through it. And I think it was probably about when I was like 25. My mom came up to me and she says, hey, do you remember when you asked me for 2 turntables and a mixer for Christmas? I'm like, yeah, and you told me it was a phase. And she's like, yeah, I really wish I did that for you. She found out, like, it wasn't just a phase. And she's, God bless my mom and my dad for listening to all that crap ass music that they couldn't stand for years. And pushing me to go do what I love to do, man.
That is amazing. Let me ask you this question. As far as the show that you guys have been in business now, say the name of the company again, and how do we find you? How do we find you for people that are watching right now?
You can always find us at www.projectsine.com. We have Facebook, we have YouTube, we have Instagram, we have pretty much every social media outlet you could find, I think, except Twitter.
Okay.
I don't think we're on Twitter. But I think we're not on Twitter because nobody understands it.
I know, dude. We got Twitter. We got so many platforms. It's ridiculous, man. And thank God for my nephew because he takes care of all that stuff. I couldn't do it. Hey, but we will be promoting the heck out of you guys also.
Awesome.
And just talking to you when I how we kind of met up, kind of interesting. But just in talking to you, I went back and I did a little homework on you guys' show and stuff, and I was like, what a cool show, what a great idea. Because sometimes you think that you see other podcasts out there, you see other shows, and everybody, until they really look at someone's show, they always say, oh, I got a show just like that. Until you look at it, it's like.
And it's completely different.
No one has the same type of show. I don't know why people even say that. It's like I wish when you give people information about you. Because the first thing I do when you tell me what you do in the company, before I even talk to you, I'll look it up because I want to make sure that I know something about it. And I laugh at people when they're like, well, what do you do? And it's like, well, I got all these platforms. I don't know why we're paying for all this stuff.
Right. And you still have no idea what we do. That's hilarious, and it's true, man. Like, there's people, I've been in conversations with people who send me a mix, and they're like, "Oh, like, we heard your name, and I want to play your show," and I'm like, "Oh, well, have you checked out our website?" And they're like, "Oh, you have a website?" Yeah. Like, yeah, man. Like, we're not just the next run-of-the-mill people want to talk to you, man.
Yeah.
And I think. To me, like, and I gotta be honest, man, for me, like, I've been doing music for about 23 years now, and I want to say last year I went to a festival and I was able to walk around the festival and meet people and give them business cards, and and let them know what we do a little bit more in depth.
Okay.
And since then, like we've been in business for 3 years, almost 3 years. September 1st, 2017 was our first. Thank you. Our launch date was September 1st, 2017. Okay. We started then, and we've been going strong since. This COVID thing kind of threw us for a loop, but we had 2.5 years of videos. So instead of not doing the show, we continued to do the show, but we did reruns of older shows. So the show didn't stop, but we didn't have to have people come into the studio.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Which was very safe for us and very safe for them.
Right.
Which a godsend. And we just started getting back into inviting people into the studio to do what we do. But yeah, man, after last year and where I was originally going with it was being able to give business cards out to people and have them ask what you do, and to give them like the verbal response is a little bit easier than trying to talk to them and not have that business card, because then they just think you're just some other DJ that just wants to shoot the shit with them. Excuse my language.
Exactly.
But you know, like I got a lot of contacts from that one festival, and it was because of the business cards, because people actually took it serious. They're like, oh, wow, these dudes aren't just joking around. Like, they came up with business cards and we had a tent set up where my partner, Andy, he does like spray paint art. Wow. So we had like a tent set up like way away from like the main stage. I actually was running the second stage for a friend of mine. So we were kind of down in that area, but we attracted a lot of people with just the artwork, like never mind the music, because we were at a music festival, but numerous people came down just to look at his artwork. So that's, and when they came down to the little site that we had, they also saw the business cards. So the business cards were getting around, but without that, I honestly got to say, like, people just took us for a couple of guys that did a web show. Like, they didn't even know we had a website, and they knew who we were. So it took a while to get the name out there, but now that it's been out there for a while, it's starting to change a little bit, and it's becoming a little bit more business-like instead of just going out and having fun, which I love doing.
Let me ask you this question. Why would someone... male, female, want to be on the show? What's in it for that? Because you know how artists are, you know how the DJs are, you know how
to be honest, like what we do, there's really nothing in it for them except exposure.
That's cool. That's huge.
Yeah, no, and I'm up front, like I'm just being honest. Anybody that wants to come and play, you're more than welcome, but we don't pay DJs to come and play our show. Okay. And it's not that we don't want to, we'd love to, but we don't have the capital to do it. We're small time right now. So what we do is anybody that comes in, even on the week to week. So we do the show every week. Like I said earlier, the last Saturday is the feature show, but those in between weeks, the 3 or 4 weeks in between each, have local DJs that come in, and we don't really do a lot for them, except for we make flyers for the events. Okay. We promote the crap out of it. We push it out there, and we try to get it. What we do is we try to put that name as far out as it reaches. As far out as we can. I know we were talking a little while ago. My buddy Jeff, who is our promo guy. Right. When I met him, things just changed. Like, we had 952 likes when I met him on Facebook last year in June, and we just creeped over 5K.
Are you kidding me?
And he did that. Yeah, no, I'm dead serious. He did that in a year, and he gets those flyers. He gets those flyers out there. There's people in, like, when I did the analytics on our web show and our website, we have people looking us up from countries I've never heard of. Wow. Never heard of. And I'm like, there's a country named that? Like, holy crap. Hey, so, I mean, he just went on this, like, splurge of, like, throwing it everywhere. And that's kind of what we needed. So, like, now that we're a little bit more established, later on down the road, like I was saying a little while ago, it became like we started doing it for fun.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have meetings every week where it's like, all right, how can we make money with this? Like,
Gotcha.
how can we take this idea, which is really good idea and it's going good. Now, how can we make money with it and make sure that when I wake up in the morning, all I have to do is put my slippers on and go fire up my laptop. You know,
There
like
you go. Hey, I want to take you back for just a second. We were talking about what's in it for people coming on to the show, and let me just be really straight with you on that, man. You guys are doing an amazing job. Whenever you take something and you're doing it more for the artists to help them out, the exposure is the biggest thing more than anything that you can help them with. Because let me just tell you right now, with Keep It 100 podcast, when we started this was an idea that just came up because I was in Jamaica. They made me come back because of COVID. My nephew was in Vegas. This was the first time that him and I had been together in the same place for more than like 3 days. It's like we don't usually hang out that much, but we got a chance to hang out. And we thought to ourselves, what can we do? Because we're both successful people, but he was very successful with his other business. And I said, why don't we do something together? We've been talking about it for a while. We came up with the idea on the 7th. Put it into action on 4/9, and here we are going on our 4th month. And here's what it's all about. This is why I'm bringing it back that way. We did it more to help people get exposure because you got to remember, no one's doing anything right now for any of these artists.
Right.
No one. There's nobody promoting. There's no one doing shows. All these different people even with your show right now, and we'll help promote you also. With your show, you got to realize. You're getting people seen that would normally not get seen.
Correct.
We've helped a lot of people as far as get seen by record labels, by producers, and you're doing the same thing. So don't always feel good about what you guys have done. Now it's time to get the bag.
Oh, please don't get it twisted when I say that we don't do anything. I love the fact that when people come to play our show. I'm just going to use an example. We had a guy come in last week who's been to the studio before. His girlfriend ended up coming with him, and they had just started dating. So she had never been part of that experience with him before. So he knew what he was stepping into, and she didn't.
Oh,
so she came to the studio with him, and my partner was running the show, and I was kind of just sitting still doing my promo thing because that's what I do when he's running the show. And she just kind of looked at me and she was like, you guys got something really special here. And I'm like, oh, do you like what we do? And she's like, dude, it's amazing. Wow. She's like, when her boyfriend's name is Julian. She's like, when he was telling me about this is definitely not what I pictured. She was picturing like, oh, I'm gonna go to these two guys, like I was talking about before. I'm gonna go to these two guys' place studio, and it's in this guy's basement, and it's gonna be like creepy, and I don't know if I'm gonna get like molested or like, and it's not like that at all. Man.
No, you know what? I seen you guys show, man.
Right.
I was blown away. And then you over the weekend, you guys were kind enough to let me know about some streaming that you had going on. Everything, man, it's so professional. It is so huge.
Thank you.
I think more people need to know about you because what you guys are doing, especially when you give someone a 2-hour period to do a set, you get a chance to really go deep into your music.
Yeah.
You get to become that's huge. That is really huge.
It's real big, man. It's real big. Like I was saying earlier, as a DJ, I don't feel getting into my sets until 15, 20 minutes in. Yeah. And then after that, you're just trying to rush and get your bangers out there as much as you can.
How many shows do you think, not to interrupt you, but how many shows do you think you've done now?
Whew. Let's see, 52 weeks in a year, 52 is 104 plus half of that. I want to say we're probably upwards, or we're coming close to somewhere between 150 and 175.
Wow. That's huge, man. That's huge.
Um,
You're doing a show every week?
every week, every Saturday from 5 to 8. Yep.
Wow. You know,
And
go ahead.
all I was going to say is that when the COVID thing hit, it was kind of a blessing because we were talking about this the other night, man. We hadn't had a Saturday break in 2+ years, except for like when Andy goes on vacation with his family or when we have gigs. So like if we have a gig on a Saturday night, I won't book a show because we're booked out. So like the studio is just going to be empty.
I got you.
But we hadn't, between our show and our gigs, we hadn't had a break up until that point in April where I hadn't gone over to the studio and been in the studio on a Saturday.
Wow.
And when this COVID thing hit, my boy Andy hit me up and he's like, "Hey, don't come over here." And I was like, "Oh, I was waiting for you to say that, man."
I got to meet Andy, man.
Yeah, after the little break, after like a month or two, even the first couple of weeks, I was still kind of lost. I'm like, man, what do I do on a Saturday? I don't know what to do with myself because we had been doing it for so long that Saturdays had just become work days.
Oh, I know, brother. I know. Let me ask you this. I'm going to go to number 3. So I know that pandemic probably affected you guys in a certain way. You got a chance to take a break. For us, pandemic was really good because we were out there just killing
You got
it,
your push.
getting a lot of people out there. What do you see in the future for you guys?
So we've had a couple of different ideas that we've tooled around a couple of different times. We've been trying to get our crew situated because we like the fact that we know we can't do it alone.
Right.
Like there's a whole team behind us. There's guys like Jeff that do our promo. There's guys like some of the guys in our crew that just they do IT stuff or they help us with the website so there's numerous things that we do, but we've always wanted to throw parties. So the idea that we've thrown around for like the last year or so is we want to create an event / festival that we can do outside of the studio, and bring it to a grounds like a campground or something like that where it's a festival. You come out for the weekend, you get nothing but 3 days, 4 days worth of music, and it's something we've tooled around with well beyond Project Sign. Okay. Like me and Andy have talked about doing this stuff since we started working with each other back in 2010. But it's one of those things that you can't just do it without the money, and money's been one of our biggest issues, and it still is one of our biggest issues.
Don't worry.
Yeah, no, I hope it is, man. I pray that it is. Sure. Because if it is, like I read something today on somebody else's page. They threw a festival and it came across their memories, and they posted about it today, and he was talking about how you don't need a festival that has umpteen million great names. You need a couple of good names, a bunch of local artists that want to do it for the love of it, and then the vibe turns into something completely different. It doesn't just become that festival that I went and saw Bass Nectar and Tiesto and Deadmau5 at. It becomes that festival that I want to go to next year because all my friends are going.
There you go.
Who cares about the DJs? Who cares about the artists? Like, I want to go because all my friends are going. And that's what we want to create. We want to create something with an atmosphere that you just don't go for the music. You go for the love of the people. And that's kind of what we're shooting to do. That's our future projects.
That sounds great. How do we find you again? Because we got people joining in. And again, remember, we'll be uploading this to our Facebook page, YouTube.
I'm gonna
Apple Podcast FM, Anchor FM Podcast, and we have 3 others. We will be uploading a lot of this, so we're going to have a lot of people. So how do we get a hold of you?
Right below us. I just typed it out so everybody could see it personally.
Okay.
www.
Say it out loud again for us too.
It's www.projectsign with SINE And it's the sign. There was a lot to go into that, by the way.
I noticed that because I had a hard time finding it at first. I was like, is this dude messing with me, man? Is this dude?
No. Anything would be better than the Maine Electronic Music Festival. Who's Fishy? Is that Fish? Oh, I got my buddy in Maine fucking following us.
I'm reading in the comments also, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm gonna do is we're gonna end up having the part 2 also, brother. Because I wanted to get to know you a little bit better and find out about, because usually when I do a podcast, I don't do any kind of interviewing with them beforehand. I just basically go raw. And I get to find out things. I love asking questions and getting them going. But I usually give you the first 3 questions, and help you out along there. And then I'll throw a few things in there. So in our part 2, I'm gonna go a little deeper with us into what you guys are gonna be doing, and hopefully we can get your business partner also. I think I'm gonna have my nephew is gonna interview him, or either I will, but I'm pretty sure my nephew will do it. Which you'll see a different swing.
we were talking about that the other night, me and you. My partner is the complete social non-butterfly. and what I loved about you guys was you guys are a duo and we're a duo, and you're me and my business partner is your cousin. I think that's hilarious. Like, we're the wild childs. They're the guys that are like focused and locked in what they're doing. But yet, even though we're the wild childs, we still have our eyes set on the goal, man. Like, we know what the final outcome we want is. You know,
funny because you're a lot like I rode out a bit, came into the studio part, and I threw the phone up there, made sure everything was set, grabbed the water, threw it there, didn't look at anything, sent you a message. I was like, all right. Let's do it.
You're right. One of the quickest interviews I've ever got booked for in my life, by the way.
You know what? Because you knew Shar, Shar 4. I was like, I want to talk to you. I want automatically. There's a feel for me. It's all about energy and feeling. The minute that I seen your Facebook information, and then we friend each other, and then a couple typing back and forth, I already knew who you were. I was like, oh, this is my boy right here. We can definitely
That's awesome, man.
We could definitely
and I love it, man. I love making those connections. And here's a quick story on us with Shara.
I want to hear this.
So Shara is huge in this. Not huge. I don't want to say huge because I don't want people's heads to blow up. But she's a big deal to us. She was one of our first featured DJs that we had gotten a hold of to ask and come in. But the way we met her, she was doing a gig up in Vermont. She lives up in Vermont, like near the Burlington area. Maybe not near there, but she was throwing an event to save a drive-in movie theater because they were going to close it. Yeah, no, exactly. That is Shara in a nutshell. But she was trying to do something for her community, and I saw a post about it, and I messaged her because I'm the talker, and I'm like, hey, I don't know if you have a full lineup or whatever, but this idea is amazing, dude, and I'd love to be a part of it. And she hit me back. We started talking. She booked me and Andy to come up and play that weekend. And that was the first weekend we had met her.
Cool.
She threw this party at the drive-in movie theater with the screen behind us. And they rolled out these 2 huge, like, hay baling. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm so lost right now.
No, it's okay. I know what you're talking about.
It's like a trailer, but they move bales of hay on it. So they're huge. So she took 2 of those and she threw a freaking tent tarp over it, and that was the stage in the middle of the grounds. So you pulled in, and there was just cars parked randomly everywhere, and about 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, it starts downpouring. Literally, like, they ran out, they grabbed the tarp, they threw it over everything, and the party ended up being in the tent.
Oh,
Like
cool.
everybody that was outside is now stuffed like shoulder to shoulder in this tent jamming out to the music. And my buddy just happened to be the one playing at that time. And we just all just sat inside this little tent. We shot the crap. We had a blast. And when we left, she's been part of our story since then. You know, she's a great person. She's always doing something positive for her community, which was great and why we got attracted to her.
That's cool.
That's what we look for. You know, we look for people that want to do something different. We don't want just some DJ who's going to come in and play music and be like, oh yeah, thanks, bye, see you later. Like,
Right.
we want people that want to make this scene go a little bit further than where it's at.
Right.
And you can only do that by making those connections, meeting different people, and also finding out what those other people want to do with their goals.
I like that.
And try to blend them together. And that was another reason that we started this project. Like, we didn't want to be those people that were just cliquey and like, when you go to our shows, that's all you see is the same people. Like, we want other people that may not ever meet each other at a party to bump heads and be like, hey, this is what we can do together, and then move from there. So there was a lot that went into, it's still a lot. There's always something changing. There's always something moving around. There's always new people in the mix. We meet people all the time, as I'm sure you do as well.
Yeah.
You know, so there's always, when you talk to those different people, different ideas pop in your head, and then boom, next thing you know, you're on an interview with a guy from California, and you're just this dude from Worcester, Massachusetts.
So, with that being said, man, you couldn't have said it in a better way, man. I wanna thank you for coming in, brother. We're gonna have a part 2 because you know you and I we're gonna actually talk it out because we're the same blood. I can tell. Hey, do me one favor before we get ready to head out of here. Give us the website where we can look you up and talk about Project Sign one more time for us.
Yep,
it's information. Your Instagram.
www.projectsign.com. Sign is spelled with SINE. I'm gonna type it out right now.
Okay.
Sign.com. And you can always, like, please, by all means, go check out the website. You can learn anything about the crew members that we have on there. Our website is set up. The homepage kind of gives you some news on what's going on with us, some news that's going on in the scene. Also gives you a little quick rundown on the featured DJs and artists of the month. They will have a link to their specific spots on the website, so you can click that right from the homepage. When you go onto the website, there's a couple of different buttons at the top. Some of it is media. One of the buttons is our crew, so you can go and read about my partner, myself, anybody that works underneath us and works with us. There's another thing where we just set it up a couple of weeks ago. Andy set up a gallery, so all of the artwork that's hanging in our studio is now on the website, and it is for sale. Anybody that wants pictures or any type of artwork from any one of us or any one of the featured artists that has come through our studio, we can always get in contact with them and give you that information as well. So it's more just to push other people to put their stuff out there and get noticed. That's our slogan, is get noticed.
All right.
And it's right on the, like, when you click on the homepage of our website, it says Project Sign, get noticed. And then it gives you kind of a rundown of what we do.
All right. I want to thank you for coming in, man. I'm going to have you back in probably the following month or so. But
awesome, man.
I want to thank you for coming in at short notice and hanging out with us a little bit. Had a great time with you. Definitely looking forward to seeing the interview with my nephew and your business partner.
That should be interesting, man. That will be interesting. And I know there's a couple of guys that are watching that are part of my crew right now. You all see this, right? Get Andy to do this part of the interview because now it's in his court.
All right, brother.
But they'll all tell you he's the social non-butterfly. He hates talking.
We're going to make it good. We're going to make it good. Don't even worry about it. All right. I want to thank you for coming in, brother.
Thank you so much for having us on, man. It's been a friggin' blast, man.
And you and I are going to have a part 2 because we have more to talk about. Okay, I want to save a little bit for later because we're going to really get into it. Okay,
Sounds good for me.
And I'll get all this stuff loaded up for you. But right now it'll be on Instagram. So if people want to watch it, you can send them right to Instagram. It'll be right there. All right, my man. Killa Trax. We will see you.
Have a good night, man.
All right.
Thank you so much again for having us be a part of this, man. It's appreciated.
No problem at all. We're family now, bro. All right.
You ever need a place to come play some music, you know where to come, man.
Oh, you know it. I will definitely do that. All right, man. You have a good day, brother.
You as well. Thank you again, man.
Okay.
Have a good one.